Hey guys, it's Carly. I'm back with a part 2 for my Princess Zelda Modern Redesign series. I really liked how the first one came out, and I had a lot of people asking me to make the part 2, so make sure you go watch that one. It'll be linked in the description if you want to see. We had Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and Ocarina of Time Zelda. This video also has a pretty good arrangement of Princess Zeldas I'm excited to show. Just in a moment, we have the original Princess Zelda from the 1986 and 1987 games of Twilight Princess, and we have Tetra. I hope you guys like the designs, and let's dive right in. Princess Zelda from the original The Legend of Zelda and its direct sequel, Adventure of Link, is far from being the fleshed out character we know she is today. We know that she broke the Triforce in an attempt to keep it from falling into the hands of evil, but spends the majority of the game locked away or cursed with eternal sleep. She was definitely one of the harder ones to grasp for this redesign challenge, so I leaned more into her concept art to get a better idea of what I think she would look like in the modern day. Just from her concept art alone, we see a lot of pink, a lot of bows, and a lot of frills, so I went with the coquette style. So as always, I start with a quick sketch. For my sketches, I always use a colored pencil brush, which I feel like gives me a lot of texture. I don't like doing things that are super neat. I feel like this imitates real life sketching the best, and I feel like it gives a really nice traditional look to my sketches. Right now, I'm just kind of playing around with how I want her outfit to look. I do have a pretty good idea already in mind, as you can tell. Just from my mood board, I really wanted to have like a cardigan and some frills. Of course, I wanted to do an iconic bow and pearls. Even though this Princess Zelda is not like the most well known in the franchise, just because, she's a sprite in most of it, but I actually really like her design. She's one of the only brunette, or I guess ginger Zeldas. Most Zeldas are blonde, obviously. I really wanted to play into the fluffy hair that she has. As a kid, I was always kind of insecure of my fluffy hair, so the first Princess Zelda is someone I related to a lot, and I really wanted to show that in my design. But yeah, after laying down the colors and making sure I had her curls set, now I'm just focusing on the rendering. I'm also doing the final details, like adding the highlights to her hair and her skin. A little trick I usually like to do is I add a soft light layer above just to add some colors. But yeah, here's the finished look. I think she turned out really cute, and yeah, I think I did the best I could with the material I had. So there's the first Zelda, and now we will move on to the next, which is... So right away you'll notice that Twilight Princess Zelda is obviously a step ahead of the original Legend of Zelda. She actually has a pretty fleshed out character, even though we don't see her too much for the game. I definitely wanted to pick a more sophisticated style, which you see on my board right now. I have originally leaned into something more like dark academia, which you'll see in my sketch, but I felt like that was just putting too much of like a cliche on her for being like, oh, the dark game. So I wanted to actually lean into what I think she would be wearing in the modern world. Fun fact, actually, before this sketch, I completely reset all of my brushes in Clip Studio Paint by accident, so you can kind of see me playing around with the sketch. I'm struggling a bit, just because my brushes don't feel the same way as they used to, but I eventually got back into it. You can see I'm kind of struggling with the outfit right now a lot more than I was with the original Zelda, but I think I eventually, like I mentioned before, I settled into more the sophisticated style instead of like a bookish. I felt like trying to put her in that like book box was kind of inaccurate for her character. I felt like she was more, like the high regal princess that we see in a lot of the cutscenes, so I think she definitely gives off more of that vibe now after I got rid of those library books. Yeah, you can totally see how I'm struggling with the face a little bit here. All of my paint brushes got reset, so I'm just playing around with my brushes right now. But after I got over that little road bump, I really settled into the rendering, and I think it came out pretty well. But yeah, I really like the purple in her design. I think she looks very true to her original. And I think she looks really good, so yeah. Let us move on to the third and final princess redesign. And by princess, I of course mean the not-so-princess Tetra, who is a pirate in The Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass. She's definitely got the most personality, I think, of the list today. She's very quirky, a little bit sassy. I really wanted her outfit to be very tomboy. I feel like she's very like rugged and not so princessy. Of course, she's got more like this beachy look to her, which I wanted to add. Because she's got so much personality, I really wanted to play with her pose here. I wanted to give her something energetic and fun. In terms of her general outfit, I think this one is the closest to our canon design. I really wanted to keep the same shorts on her, as well as playing into like the vest and underlayer that she has, but I'm modernizing it a bit to make it into a crop top and over jacket. I think this one was definitely the most fun to draw. You can kind of tell I'm exploring more with my pose. I also really enjoyed the color palette on Tetra, as well as some of the more subtle details like turning her giant fluffy bun into a claw clip and then the tan lines in her skin. I think those details, even though they're like small, make her more realistic. So I just connected to her a lot more while I was sketching. Here I'm just adding the final bit of rendering in some of her jewelry. And here is her finished look. She's definitely my favorite of the three. I think she just has so much character to her. I've said a million times, and I think she was just super fun to draw, and I hope you guys liked her as much as I do. And here are all the girls lined up at the end. I definitely think this turned out way better than part 1 just because I spent so much more time on the rendering. I can't wait for part 3, hopefully, maybe? Alright guys, that was part 2 of my Zelda redesign series. I hope you really enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. If you'd like to see a part 3, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you all next time.